Hello and welcome, Light Steppers. It's day one on Mindset Week. Today we're gonna start off with a really big one that's dear to my heart. Part two of self-image. I know that we touched on it in our previous call, but I want to give you guys a few more tools because self-image is honestly it's a very complex topic, and I want you guys to know that there are multiple tools to really improve your self-image. Before we do that, you guys know the drill. We're gonna go over our guiding principles so that we can remember what we stand on and what we're all about. We fill our cups first by honoring our physical, mental, and spiritual health through self-mastery, movement, nutrition, community, and personal development. Kenny?
We model behaviors, habits, and attitudes that demonstrate excellence.
Leila, you able to mute or you're still muted? Uh,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
Sorry, it cut out for like 3 minutes. Which one?
Right here, the finger.
Okay. By developing individuals who strengthen families that elevate communities.
We believe that integrity, love, and principles are the foundation of both our great life and business.
We are committed to creating generational health and wealth for our community and beyond.
We continually expand our organization by providing the most effective and highest quality products and services available.
Everything rises and falls on leadership. The measure of an effective leader is not how many serve them, it is how many people they can serve. Let's go. All right, so we're doing self-image. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit different today. No whiteboard, but instead, I'm actually going to share my screen and I'm going to pull up my brand new book that's dropping today. I'm gonna give you guys a little blessing from there because why not, right? Why not? You guys are awesome. You guys are here. Might as well bless you guys like that. And it's all gonna be about self-talk and self-image. So let's share some of that with you guys. Okay, good. Change the thing. So practical steps to improve self-talk. First of all, awareness. The first step is to become aware of your self-talk. Like a lot of the time, we're not aware of anything that's happening within our minds. So just bringing awareness to the conversations that we're actually having is very helpful. So that's just the first step. And that makes sense, of course. Like you got to be aware for yeah, of course. But sometimes you don't know, and it's not. It's good to take time to really bring awareness and give attention and energy to the self-talk so you can actually understand what's happening within your mind. Of course, the second one is challenge your negative thoughts. This was actually taught to me by my therapist. It sounded crazy to me, but it saved my life. It actually not saved my life, like, I'm guessing, but it really helped me. It really helped me in just gaining control back of my mindset. And the what she taught me was to challenge my negative thoughts. When you notice negative self-talk, challenge it. What that looks like for me is like if my brain is saying something, I talk to my brain just like I call it my brain. Like, thank you, brain. And that's not helpful. I literally look to the side and I talk to my brain. But what she taught me was to like literally argue with those negative thoughts. Not just don't just let them sit there in your home, which is your mind, and let them just destroy your home and just make it all dirty and ugly. Challenge them, like, and what you're gonna find out when you challenge those thoughts is that a lot of the time they're exaggerated or unfounded. Like you can just ask yourself, like, is this true? Is there evidence to back this up? And a lot of the time, those negative thoughts, they have no evidence to back them up. So you can 100% challenge them. And then when you realize that they're exaggerated or unfounded, you can dismiss them. And then this one's really important. I shared with you guys a couple of times the importance of replacing your negative language. Um, a lot of the time I've seen what people do is that they stay here, they stay in awareness. So like I'm aware, I'm talking like shit to myself all the time. Like I'm aware. Whether plateau is that they don't get to that stage, which is replacing the negative language. If nature hates void, so if you just leave it empty, if you just stop trying to think of a negative thought or say a negative thing that you say when you're talking about yourself, that's gonna probably get replaced with something, another thing that's negative, or the same thing is gonna come back up. So it's crucial that we replace it. You have to replace it. If you don't replace it, your brain will do it for you. So like instead, let's say if you're saying like I can't do this, replace it with how can I make this work? How can I do this? And I say this because I want to emphasize, and this is one of the main reasons I want to jump on this call, is I want to remind you guys that your brain is the most powerful tool in the universe, and it's made for problem solving. So when we say things like, I can't do this, your brain stops working, because why would I even try if you can't do it? But if you just ask, like, how can I make this work? How can I do this? If I were just like try, or like if everything were in according to plan, how could I make this work? And even if you don't know in the moment, guess what's gonna happen when you go to sleep, when you're in the shower, when you're waiting in line at the bank? Your brain is gonna continue to work on solutions and look for opportunities, look for possibilities for that will help you to unlock that new level or overcome a challenge that you might be struggling with. So utilize that tool, which is the most powerful tool in the universe, and use it for your advantage. Give it problems. I know it sounds crazy, but give it problems. Like ask, like, how can I earn this amount of money? How can I write this book in this amount of time? How can I, and just let it work. Don't be so caught up and be like, I need to know right now. Allow it to work. Sometimes you need a couple of days, sometimes it needs months. That's just the creative process. So embrace it, give it problems, and your brain will come up with solutions that are in front of you, that are around you. This is one that I didn't think I had to add on here, but I had a conversation with a friend a few years back, and he's a young man. He went to high school together. And I told him, hey, like, practice self-compassion. And he asked me, what does that mean? And that broke my heart. More than anything. I'm like, holy shit, like you've never been taught what self-compassion is. And I told him, like, it's be kind to yourself. Like, talk to yourself as you would to a friend. Like, never say something to yourself that you never say to a good friend. So that's what self-compassion means. Like, again, I didn't think this was important for me to put in here, but after talking to people, I realized that especially a lot of men, they don't know what this means, and most importantly, they don't know what this looks like. The way what it looks like is like talking to yourself like you would to a friend. That's what I like to describe it in my head. And then use visualization. So this is crucial. If you study absolutely any top champion in any sport, Kobe Bryant, Conor McGregor in MMA, if you tell Jordan, the list goes on and on, Serena Williams, they all practice visualization. And this is, first of all, free, but it's also, I've done a lot of research on this, and you can actually visualize like an outcome or something that's happening, and your brain thinks it's happening for real. So like there's actually a lot of research out there that shows that you, by simply thinking in your head a successful attempt, your brain counts it as a real attempt. Like if you actually went out there and like hit the racket or like shoot the ball or did the muscle up, whatever that might be. But when you're actually practicing in your brain thinks it's happening for real. So you're doubling up the amount of training you're getting when you're engaging in visualization. So don't play yourself and don't use this tool, because it actually helps you to get to that next level, and also to double up your training. Like you're not only getting it physically, but as you're rehearsing it in your brain, you actually allow your brain to just repeat and just create muscle memory. It's the same things are triggered in your brain. So visualize. And the most important thing with visualizing is visualize yourself succeeding. And I love this part of psychocybernetics. They talk about the theater of the mind, and they talk about daily practice of mental rehearsal. They talk about, I mean, Maltz, what he talks about, it's literally going in your mind and understanding that you have a theater in there, and I'll read you exactly what I wrote in here. Maxwell suggests creating a mental movie theater where you visualize yourself performing successfully in various scenarios. Emphasis on various scenarios, not just one, multiple scenarios. And this actually aligns with behavior analysis, because in order for you to master a behavior, you need to generalize the environment. So if you're not visualizing yourself being successful in various environments, you're not going to generalize that skill. You're not going to master the skill. This technique helps in building a positive self-image and reinforcing successful behaviors. Imagine yourself vividly in situations where you are confident, successful, and happy. Replay these mental movies regularly and to condition your mind to these positive outcomes. This literally taught me everything that drives me. I was able to actually use this exercise to decide what matters to me, what life do I really want to live. This actually taught me that I want to be a teacher. This actually taught me that I want to be speaking in front of audiences. It actually taught I took a step back and I'm like, okay, let me look at myself. What do I look like when I'm performing successfully in various scenarios? And that gave me a beautiful outline and a vision, so the things that I wanted to do, and then from there, just bridging that gap with action and actual evidence. And then of course, daily practice of mental rehearsal. This was actually introduced to me before Cybernetics. This was my coach Jill taught me about this because she's an Olympic level boxer. So as you can imagine, she does daily practice of mental rehearsal. Spend a few minutes each day. I like to call this miracle moment. So I like to dedicate 5 minutes. A few minutes each day mentally rehearsing your desired outcomes. This practice involves imagining yourself achieving your goals and performing at your best. According to Maltz, this mental rehearsal can enhance your real life performance by training your subconscious mind to accept these positive self-images as reality. This tool emphasizes the power of repetition and visualization in changing your self-image. This is such a powerful tool. I wouldn't have taken the time and made it like team training if I didn't think this is such a crucial part of training. A lot of people ask me, Carlos, you learn so fast. Like, oh my God, you just picked up calisthenics. Like, how are you doing all these things? Mental rehearsal. I'm visualizing myself being successful. I'm getting those reps in even on days that I'm off. And I give my brain those challenges, so my brain continues to work on those things while I'm not even thinking about this, while I'm making dinner or while I'm showering. So that is the tool that I want to share with you guys today. That's a tool that has helped. Those are tools, actually, 2 tools I shared that have been really helpful and for me, and just getting shit done, honestly. And becoming better at mastering skills. A lot of people get stuck. And what I've noticed, a lot of people, the difference between world level champions, the people who are just showing up, a lot of the time is visualization. Like most of the time they have the same physical attributes. The difference is here. Can they see themselves being successful? Are they actually utilizing that skill to get hidden reps while they're literally at work doing nothing? When they are, and I challenge you to go and ask like the top people in your life, the people who are doing big things. I want to challenge you to go out there and ask them, like, do you visualize? Do you take time to like look, imagine yourself being successful? And I could probably put money on it. If they're really successful, they have, and they do all the time. I went a minute past, but that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. Was that helpful? Like, do you guys need some clarification on that?
Yeah, that was helpful.
Let's go. You cannot we talked about this before. In order for you to have anything, you need to do something, and before you can do anything, you need to be that person that does the thing. That's why I started with this, because like self-image and self-talk are gonna dictate what you do, and it's ultimately gonna dictate your results. So if you don't know why you're not getting the results that you want, bring it all the way back. Like in behavior analysis, we stick to the doing and we just look at the behavior. I want you to go even deeper than that and look at yourself and look at your self-image, your self-beliefs, and most importantly, your paradigms. What's your belief system? What do you believe to be true about yourself? And that's gonna help you to just make the changes that you need and replace it with things that are more helpful and gonna move you closer to your values. Okay, cool. So let's dive in. So challenges and wins. Let's start with challenges. Challenges and wins. Kenny.
Wins was being at a beautiful beach, but challenges aligned with this. How would you go about creating that self-image of something that you aren't there yet, or that you even have maybe failed at? Like, for example, so that'll make more sense to you in your field. Let's say you want to see yourself as a doctor, but you're not a doctor yet, and maybe you've even failed a couple tests. How do you create that self-image in that scenario?
For sure. So again, all those lessons, and that's temporary defeat. Like that's not like a failure. When you're not there yet, like that doesn't mean that you're not that person. So what I like to say, especially when I'm dealing with challenges and failure, is that it's literally part of the process, and it's lessons that I'm learning in order for me to get to the next part. I have to overcome these challenges in order for me to undo all the conditioning that I have. Um, yeah, like straight up, that's what I would say. Like at the end of the day, like challenges are a necessary part of the process, and challenges and else those else are lessons. They're really teaching you something. You wouldn't have had that L if you had mastered that skill already. You're not gonna fail at a muscle up if you already know how to muscle up. It's not gonna work. Exactly. So those failures are simply just telling you what areas need to improve in, so that you can actually bridge that gap from where you are and where you want to be. So it's not
Okay.
bad. It's not bad. They're just I like to call them flags or like signs, just waving, telling you like you need to get better finances. Maybe you need to get better at leadership. Well, like the tone of voice when you're presenting it, and it's just signs like that tell you like which areas you need to put more effort in so that you can bridge,
Okay.
and then eventually you'll get to the next level, and guess what, you have to come up with a new level after that as well.
I
So
see.
yeah, and I'll tap into even higher than that. Like John C. Maxwell, he talks about this. He talks about the law of the rubber band. And he talks
Okay.
about how
Mm.
that tension is crucial to push you and create that uncomfortability that will drive you to get closer to your goals. Like the rubber band literally means like the way that I imagine it is like your present you and your future you have a rubber band, a massive rubber band attached around your waist. And like it's there's a lot of stretching on there. And if you don't pay attention to that future you, that tension kind of just goes away. And it's important to keep that tension to drive you into your goals. If you don't visualize, if you don't think about yourself, right, Layla, if you don't take the time to visualize it, your brain is it's gonna create situations that you don't want. Your brain is a problem solving mechanism, and if you don't give them like solutions or outcomes that you want, it's not going to take the time to like figure out how to get those outcomes. If you're just thinking about, but I failed, but I'm good, I'm not good at this, your brain's gonna be like, yeah, you're right, and guess what, it's going to repeat that cycle. It's called I think, yeah, it's universal habit force, I think is what it's called. But when you give that to your brain's going to just create more and more of it. So by visualizing, you start first of all putting that thought into the universe, also into your brain, also into your subconscious mind, and eventually into your body. So it think of this conditioning as you planting the seeds and taking care of the soil for so that you can eventually get the fruits that you want in whatever goals
Okay.
that you have. All you're doing this work is gardening yourself. That's it. That's all you're doing. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Good question, though. Really, really good question. Really, really good question. All right. Well, that's it. What's you already shared the win, your challenge. Okay, cool. Anything else you want to add? Anything else you need some clarity with? Anything else that you think we should touch on before we jump off?
Um, yeah, you can end the live stream first if you want. It's kind of unrelated. I just wanted your feedback on a flyer I'm making. Little
Okay.
mastermind.
Let me stop here. Well, let me just let everyone know that's watching. If you have any questions about everything we talked about today, drop it in the comments. We'll get to it as soon as possible. It will help. It can help other people who have the same questions and are too shy to ask. So feel free to ask him so that we can